Hi, welcome to AP Music Theory, Lecture 2. Again, you should have the textbook, The Musician's Guide to Music Theory and Analysis, 2nd edition, by Jane Piper Clendening and Elizabeth West Marvin. It looks like this, green cover. Okay, in your textbook, open to Chapter 1, which is on page number 2, Elements of Music. The first thing we're going to look at is pitch and pitch class. The first thing we see on page 3 is the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's only 7 letters as compared to our typical alphabet, which has much more. Now, the musical alphabet doesn't mean that we don't have more pitches than 7 pitches. We just start over and use the names again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So once you hit G, the next pitch is going to be called A. And you see that on page 3. It repeats itself. Now, if you get really good, which I strongly suggest you do, you should be able to say the musical alphabet backwards. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. You should also be able to count in thirds. What I mean by that is if you were to start on A and count in thirds, you would count A is 1, and then A, B, C. C would be the next pitch in the sequence of thirds. So A, B, C, then C, D, E, that'd be the next pitch, and then E, F, G. So if you were to be able to say that fast, and I said to you, give me the sequence of thirds starting on A, you would say A, C, E, G. All right, so you want to get able to the point where you can do that. Next page, page 4. We also want to be able to count pitches from a starting point to an ending point. For instance, on triad number 1, letter A, it says remember to count the given note as 1 and finding each letter name requested. For instance, number 1, they say 7 above G. How do we figure that out? We start with G as 1 and then count up to number 7. G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, F is 7. So 7 above G is F. Number 2, they say what's 6 above F? We'll start with F is 1. F is 1, G is 2, A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, D is 6. So the answer is D. Number 3, 2 above D. D is 1, E is 2. Next we have letter B, and they're asking us to count in thirds. For number 1, they give us G as the starting pitch, and then say count in thirds. So if G is the starting pitch, we go G, A, B. That's a third above G. Then a third above B would be B, C, D. D. Then D, third above D, D, E, F. A third above F, F, G, A. For number 2, they ask us to start on D. So now we're going to count thirds above D. D is 1, D, E, F is the third. A third above F, F, G, A. A third above A, B, C. A third above C, C, D, E. Now you want to get to the point where you can count all these letters by thirds without using the intermittent letters. So for number 3, with A as the starting pitch, you should be able to say thirds above A, C, E, G, B, D, F, etc. Pitch classes and pitches. On the top of page 5, it says key concept. Octave-related notes belong to the same pitch class and have the same letter name. So for instance, on a piano keyboard, all the Ds belong to the pitch class D. All the E's belong to the pitch class E. A pitch, on the other hand, a single individual pitch, is one tone within one octave. Middle C is the pitch C. It belongs to the pitch class C, every C on the keyboard, but middle C is an individual pitch. Letter B, counting in thirds above a given pitch. Number 1, they give us G as the starting pitch and ask us to count in thirds. So if we have G, we go G, A, B. B is a third up from G. If we start on B then, we count up a third, we go B, C, D. So now we have G, B, D, but they want us to go farther. A third above D would be D, E, F. And then a third above F would be F, G, A. Number 2, they start on D and ask us to count in thirds. D is number 1, D, E, F. F is a third above D. Then F, G, A. A is a third above F. A, B, C. C is a third above A. C, D, E. E is a third above C. Now you want to get to the point where you can count in thirds without counting those intermittent notes. So number 3, they give us a starting pitch of A and ask us to count in thirds. We would say A, C, E, G, B, D, etc. as far as they want you to go. Pitch classes and pitches. Top of page 5, key concept. Octave-related notes belong to the same pitch class and have the same letter name. For instance, all the D's on a piano keyboard belong to the pitch class D. But D above middle C is a specific pitch. It's D. It's one tone, one pitch, sounds in one octave. The piano keyboard. Now this is a picture that you want to have emblazoned in your mind if you don't already. Bottom of page 5, figure 1.2, you'll see a picture of a piano keyboard. It's made up of white keys and black keys. There are sets of 2 and sets of 3 black keys. The one exception is the bottom of a piano keyboard. There's one black key all by itself. Other than that, there's always sets of 2 black keys and sets of 3. Notice they're pointing out middle C. Middle C and B below it have no black key in between them. That's important to know. E and F also have no black keys in between them, and we'll see why that's important in a minute. They also have from D above middle C to the next D bracketed off. That's an octave. Any one pitch up to the next pitch of the same letter is an octave. So middle C up to the next C could also be an octave. The B below middle C up to the next B is also an octave. Top of page 6, black keys, flats, and sharps. Their black keys can have 2 names, depending on where they are in relation to a white key. However, white keys can also have names of flats and sharps. Can you guess where they're at? That's right, when you have 2 white keys with no black keys in between them. So for instance, letter C, middle C. C has a black key directly above it, called C sharp. C sharp has another name. That's called an enharmonic spelling. C sharp is also known as D flat because it's the black key directly below D. Sharps refer to pitches above a note. Flats refer to pitches below a note. So if you look at C again, you'll see that C has an enharmonic spelling as well. It's called B sharp. That's because B is directly below C. Now, B has no black key after it. So the very next pitch, C, is B's sharp. The vice versa, B, directly below C, is C's flat. These are called accidentals. Sharps and flats are known as accidentals. The third accidental is a natural. Enharmonic equivalents, try it number 2 at the top of page 7. It says name the enharmonic equivalent. Number 1, G flat. What's the enharmonic equivalent for G flat? Well, if you go to G, back on page 6, figure 1.3, you go down to G flat. What's G flat's other's name? It's F sharp because it's right above the F. Number 2, B sharp. What's B sharp's other name? Well, we find B sharp is the same thing as letter C. How about number 3, A sharp? A sharp is also known as B